September 16th, 1992. By sunset tonight, the British government will have burned through billions of pounds of its reserves, raised interest rates twice in a single day, and surrendered its entire economic policy, all of it in a losing battle against one man's bet. That man will make roughly $1 billion in a day, not by breaking any law, not by stealing a penny, simply by seeing before anyone would admit it that a promise at the heart of British policy was a lie. This is Black Wednesday, the day a speculator beat a nation. To understand the bet, understand the promise. In 1990, Britain joined Europe's exchange rate mechanism, the ERMA system that chained European currencies together before the euro existed. The pound was pegged to the German mark at a fixed rate, and the government swore to defend it. Here's what most people don't know. Britain joined at almost the worst possible moment, at almost the worst possible rate. German reunification had pushed German interest rates sky high. Britain, sliding into recession, needed exactly the opposite. To keep the peg, London had to strangle its own economy with high rates it could not afford. The promise said one thing. The economics said another, and when those two disagree for long enough, someone bets on the economics. In a Manhattan office, the Quantum Fund had been watching that contradiction for months. Its founder, a Hungarian-born survivor of war and refugee of communism, had a philosophy. Markets are driven by flawed beliefs, and the fortune goes to whoever spots the flaw first. His lieutenant proposed a large bet against the pound. The reply became Wall Street legend. If the logic is right, don't nibble, go for the jugular. Quietly, the fund borrowed pounds and sold them, again and again, building a position of $10 billion. The trade wasn't a gamble. It was a one-way bet. If the peg held, they'd lose a little. If it broke, the payoff would be historic. That asymmetry is the anatomy of every great speculative attack. Remember it. Dawn, September 16th. The selling begins before London's coffee is cold. Waves of pounds dumped into the market from every direction as other funds smell the same blood. The Bank of England does what defenders do. It buys. Billions of pounds an hour, bought back with finite reserves in a market with infinite sellers. At 11 a.m., the Chancellor raises interest rates from 10% to 12%. A huge move meant as a show of strength. The market reads it as a scream. By early afternoon comes an announcement without precedent. Rates will rise again to 15%. 2 hikes in one day in the middle of a recession. Homeowners stare at their televisions in disbelief. The selling doesn't even pause. 7:30 in the evening. The Chancellor steps onto the Treasury steps, drawn in gray under the camera lights, and reads a short statement. Britain is suspending its membership of the exchange rate mechanism. Translation: we give up. The pound floats and immediately drops around 15% against the mark. The second rate rise is canceled before it ever takes effect, like a threat nobody believed. In New York, the Quantum Fund counts its winnings, roughly $1 billion. The British Treasury's own later estimate of the day's cost to taxpayers, over £3 billion, the most expensive single day in British economic history, until it wasn't even the biggest story of the decade. Now the twist. This story is famous for among economists. Freed from the peg, Britain cut interest rates, the economy exhaled, and a long boom began. Within a few years, some were calling it White Wednesday, the humiliation that accidentally saved the economy. The speculator himself said it plainly. He didn't break the pound. The peg was already broken. He just collected the prize for saying so. But the political wound never healed. The government's reputation for economic competence died that evening on the Treasury steps, and voters remembered for years. Nations, it turns out, can survive being wrong. What they can't survive is insisting they're right while everyone watches the truth on a trading screen. Black Wednesday's warning sign belongs in every episode of this series. When a government promises a price for its currency for anything, check whether the promise and the economics point the same way. When they don't, the promise becomes a target, and defending it becomes a transfer of public money to whoever calls the bluff. Fixed things that deserve to move will move. The only question is who profits from the snap. Tomorrow, a country with the largest oil reserves on Earth, where the money broke so badly that shopkeepers weighed it instead of counting, at Venezuela. A new fortune falls here every day. Subscribe.